KNBC 9 News starts with breaking news.
Thanks for being here at noon. I'm Jamie Weiss. We are following several breaking news stories at the top of the hour. The first, a man shot and killed this morning at a gas station near 45th and the Paseo. That's where we find KNBC 9's Martin Augustine with more.
Police got the first calls of gunshots about 9:15 in the morning, which means it was a time of day when it was likely pretty busy at that gas station. Police are hoping that might help them a little bit farther down the road. In the meantime, police arrived here to find a man with gunshot wounds on the ground. EMS arrived here too, tried to help him, but it was too late. For now, detectives are trying to find people who saw something or heard something. They'll be looking at video from the Fast Stop and other businesses near it. Maybe some people across the street have video too. That's all part of this investigation, which brings us back to a busy morning. Because it was a busy morning, in all likelihood, lots of people were around here to catch a piece of what was going on. What police hope is that those people will give them a call and let them know what they know. Reporting from 45th and Paseo, Martin Augustine, KNBC 9 News.
And breaking in Commitment 2024 news, former Vice President Mike Pence has announced he's running for president by filing that paperwork today. He will formally launch his bid for the Republican nomination with a kickoff event in Des Moines, Iowa that is set for Wednesday. The Republican field is already crowded with former President Donald Trump, several current or former governors like Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, and Asa Hutchinson announcing their candidacy, among many others. On the Democratic side, Marianne Williamson, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will both face President Biden for the Democratic nomination. Today, the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs will be making their first visit to the White House. They will have a full day of celebrating their big win ahead. You are looking at a live picture now from the White House. KNBC 9 is there. We're going to catch up with Dennis Evans and bring you all the latest today on KNBC 9 News. Today, Chiefs Kingdom is mourning the loss of matriarch and First Lady of Football, Norma Hunt. KNBC 9's Martin Augustine shows us how she's being remembered.
A statement from the Hunt family makes this point. Perhaps nobody else was as passionate, if not more passionate, about sports than the late Lamar Hunt, except maybe for Norma. She attended every single Super Bowl that has ever been played, and by her family's account, the only woman to do so. She was there, of course, for each of the 3 times the Chiefs hoisted the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Described by her family as unfailingly positive, caring, loving, and a loyal friend, that statement goes on to say she had the ability to make everyone she met feel valued and at ease. Among the messages of love coming in for her, Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes tweeting, "Mrs. Norma was the best. Glad to be a part of this special organization she helped build. She will be missed." So deeply connected to the National Football League was Norma Hunt that she was sometimes called the First Lady of Football. But her interest in sports ran a lot wider and deeper than that. Anything that the Hunts were interested in, she was interested in. Major League Soccer, World Championship Tennis, and the NBA Chicago Bulls. The Hunts were initial investors in that franchise. Reporting from Arrowhead Stadium, Martin Augustine, KNBC 9 News.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell wrote in a statement he was fortunate to know Norma Hunt for nearly 40 years and was always struck by her warmth, grace, and partnership with Lamar, as well as pride in their family. Norma's sense of family extended to the Chiefs organization, which she greatly adored. And Worlds of Fun also sending out thoughtful words on the passing of Norma Hunt. In a statement from park leaders, Norma Hunt's influence, class, and discerning taste continue to stand the test of time at Worlds of Fun. We are deeply saddened to learn her passing, learn of it, and we mourn the loss of an icon. Worlds of Fun was founded by Norma's husband, Lamar Hunt, back in 1973. You can count on KNBC 9 News for updates as Chiefs Kingdom grieves the loss of one of its own. You can stay with us on air and online at KNBC.com for those updates. We do want to get a check of the forecast. First Alert Weather's Chad Crilly is joining us today. And as we take a look outside, Chad, it is just muggy. It feels like summer. It's kind of a gray day today, too.
It is. So if you're out and about today, it's going to be sort of like, Jamie, the past several days that we've had. We've had some sunshine in place right now, but as we go throughout the afternoon hours, clouds will start to billow and the chance of some thunderstorms will pop up. Right now, live look from our City View camera over Kansas City. Temperatures are working their way up into the 80s. In fact, right now, 85 degrees, dew point at 65 degrees, and winds are out of the northeast at 7 miles per hour. We were talking here a moment moment ago about that hazy look to the sky. That is because we have some poor air quality across Kansas City. That is mainly ozone pollutant that's getting into our air. So if you're out and about and you have respiratory issues, make sure you're taking it easy, especially if you're exercising. 87 in Chillicothe, 86 in Marshall. Right now it is in the mid-80s in Warrensburg. Back on the Kansas side, temperatures pretty uniform, also in the mid-80s there for us. Clouds and radar show clear skies in place over our neck of the woods, but some clouds closer to the Iowa and Missouri border are sinking to the south. That may bring in some additional cloud cover here over the next couple of hours, and eventually the chance of thunderstorms. We'll time those storms out for you in further detail on Future Scan coming up in a few minutes.
All right, appreciate the heads up. Thanks, Chad. We could soon learn the name, I should say, of a man shot and killed Saturday by police in Olathe. Investigators say 2 Olathe officers shot the 58-year-old after he threatened them with a knife. Officers pulled a car over for a traffic stop on North Water Street. This was around 8 Saturday night. Authorities tell us the man pulled up in a separate car and then got out with a knife. Police call the whole situation unfortunate.
You know, it's unfortunate that somebody did lose their lives. It's also unfortunate that someone's advancing on police officers with a knife. And you know, that investigation is ongoing. It will be thorough, and we know that for sure.
The officers weren't hurt. They are now on administrative leave. This is standard procedure after a shooting like this. Lawrence police need your help after a deadly shooting early Saturday. Officers were called to 24th and Cedarwood around 1 a.m. They didn't find any victims, so they went to the hospital. While there, officers saw a car speeding up and a man in his 20s in the back seat who had been shot. They pulled him from the car, but he later died from his injuries. Lawrence police are trying to get more information from the 3 other men who were inside that car. Tonight, the Independent City Council will consider getting rid of the city's pit bull ban. Just last month, the council voted down a proposal that would have put that ban on the August ballot, but tonight, members could vote to just do away with it themselves. This comes after volunteers gathered nearly 5,700 signatures to get rid of it. That meeting starts tonight at 6 o'clock. The future of Kansas City is being shaped today, and you can have an impact on the next generation by deciding just 1 hour to dedicate 1 hour to reading once a week. KMBC 9's Matt Evans shows us the impact that you can have as a part of Lead to Read KC.
All these animals are reptiles.
Helping Kansas City kids build a brighter future, one storybook at a time.
It permeates every aspect of life. Every single aspect of life.
If you don't practice reading, then you can't read at all.
You can't do math without reading. You can't go to the grocery store without reading. You can't drive without reading.
Lead to Read is focused on helping kids improve their reading skills.
But now Judy B is worried about something else,
which leads to better social skills and a lot more confidence.
One student was like, Miss Paul, guess what? I just read a whole book.
Studies have shown students who can't read by 3rd grade are 4 times as likely to drop out of high school. Volunteers with Lead to Read can make a difference in just 1 hour a week.
That's why we need volunteers to read with our students, because they need those partners throughout the day, after school, whatever the case may be, people to motivate them.
Volunteers are reading mentors and spend their lunch hour reading one-on-one with a student.
It allows me to understand how people pronounce their words, like nonfiction, fiction, like that type of stuff.
We've got so many different people coming in from so many different backgrounds, reading to our children, building relationships with them, and it's just been really awesome.
The more people who volunteer, the more fairy tale endings Kansas City kids will experience.
If you have just 1 hour of your day that you can devote to a student, it'll be like a lifetime effect for that student.
Matt Evans, KMBC 9 News.
KMBC 9 Cares for Kids is helping to build a community of readers, and we have a goal of sponsoring 1,000 kids this month with Lead to Read. All it takes is a $10 donation to sponsor a student or to buy them a brand new book. Volunteers are also needed. You can scan this QR code here on your screen to get started, or you can log on to KMBC.com/community to learn more. Tonight on our KMBC 9 Facebook page, Arlen Jennings is going to be reading a children's book with his daughter. You can watch that full reading tonight on our Facebook page, KMBC Channel 9, starting at 7 o'clock. People in the Washington, D.C. area got quite the scare Sunday. Next to noon, the source of that big boom. And Kansas City welcomes a fan favorite back to the K. We'll show you the warm welcome Moose received, even in a Rockies uniform. That's straight ahead.
Your station leading the way, getting you answers on the stories that matter most to you and your family. KMBC 9 News.
This morning, investigators are looking into a civilian plane crash near Washington, D.C. U.S. fighter jets responded and caused some pretty loud noises. So that was a sonic boom from those F-16 fighter jets as they reached supersonic speeds. The pilots were trying to intercept a small Cessna plane with an unresponsive pilot. The Cessna eventually crashed in Virginia, killing everyone on board. The FAA and NTSB are still trying to figure out what happened. The writers' strike is still going on, but it looks like directors now have a deal with major film studios. The pact was reached to set the terms of a new 3-year collective bargaining agreement. This is with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. The deal was reached Saturday night and affects wages, work hours, residuals, and even artificial intelligence. The tentative agreement will be submitted to the Guild's national board at a special meeting tomorrow. It only takes 1 hour a week to make a difference in a child's life. KMBC 9 Cares for Kids is teaming up with Lead to Read KC to make sure more students in the metro have books to read. Lead to Read works with several local school districts to help make sure students are reading at grade level or beyond. Researchers have found that students who don't know how to read by the 3rd grade are 4 times as likely to drop out of high school. Volunteers serve as reading mentors who spend 1 lunch hour a week just reading one-on-one with students, and that impact is immediate.
There are thousands of children in Kansas City who really do need our support and will benefit from that one-to-one reading. So we ask our volunteers to donate 1 lunch hour a week, and we try to place them at a school that is 10 to 15 minutes from their home or office. So they travel to the school for 10, 15 minutes, they read with the student for 30, and they're back at their home or office. It's truly 1 lunch hour.
It costs just $10 to sponsor a child with Lead to Read. Your cash donation will also provide brand new books for those kids to read. You can make an instant donation right now by scanning this QR code on your screen, or you can visit kmbc.com/community to learn more. On Sunday, the Royals wrapped up their series with the Colorado Rockies, and there was a special moment in the top of the 1st inning. Former Royals 3rd baseman Mike Moustakas was given a standing ovation from Royals fans as he walked into the batting box against the Royals. Moose was drafted by the Royals in 2007. He was on the 2014 and 2015 World Series teams and was there when they won the championship in 2015. The Kansas City Royals avoided the sweep from the Rockies thanks in part to rookie Michael Garcia. He belted his first big league home run in the 8th inning, and the Royals won 2-0. The Royals will now head to Florida to start a 3-game series against the Miami Marlins. Carlos Hernandez will be on the mound tonight. First pitch in Miami set for 5:40 tonight. The 14th year of the Big Slick Celebrity Weekend is officially in the books, and the final numbers are in. The group of celebs helped to raise $3.5 million for Children's Mercy Hospital. That adds up to $21 million raised since 2010. Big Slick shared this video on social media right after announcing those totals. Such a special weekend. As the summer heat approaches, Westlake Ace Hardware stores, as well as the Salvation Army, will be teaming up this month to collect box fans to help Kansas Cityans stay cool this summer. And customers can actually round up their purchases at the register from now until June 18th. You can also donate online at the website here on your screen. Just last year, customers donated more than $24,000. That meant 1,300 fans went to residents in need. And Chad, it is only early June. It has felt very hot already the last couple of days, and it is so important that we're able to get AC, able to get water to people who need it just to try to stay cool in this heat.
Yeah, absolutely. Those fans definitely needed the past couple of weeks. We kind of skipped to July on the calendar. There is a cool down in our forecast, just not today or tomorrow, but we'll show it to you eventually. Right now, I do want to take you outside to a live look from our City View camera over KC. It's a little hazy. Air quality today is not the best, but we still have sunshine in place at 85 degrees, so warming up fairly quickly. Northeast winds right now at 7 miles per hour, so light, but the dew point is also up there already in the 60s, making it feel a little sticky. 86 degrees in Marshall, 87 in Sedalia. As we work our way west towards the Kansas side, some more mid-80s popping up. It is 86 in Olathe, as well as Ottawa, as well as 86 in Garnett. That is the common number this afternoon. So here's the bigger picture. As we widen it out, there's an area of high pressure across the Great Lakes. This is important regarding today's thunderstorm potential. High pressure has this clockwise flow. So as thunderstorms develop this afternoon, they're going to be moving from east to west rather than west to east, which is sort of what we're used to. The other thing I want to point out is this cold front to the north of the high pressure. That will give us a cool down later in the week. For today, we are warm and steamy. Temperatures in the mid-80s throughout this afternoon. 30% chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Coverage looks similar to yesterday, but if you do happen to get underneath a thunderstorm, it could bring locally heavy rainfall along with some frequent lightning and reduced visibility, so keep an eye out for that. Let's go through future scans, show you how this plays out. It's going to show us where the highest coverage of storms will be today. This is at 2:15, and notice in eastern Kansas, so Olathe, Ottawa, Lawrence, up to Leavenworth, you have the best chance of seeing a few storms. In western Missouri, the opportunity just not as high. And we've been saying it, this area here, we're talking Clinton, Sedalia, and Warrensburg, seeing some very severe drought conditions. We could use the rain, we're not going to get it. Where we're more likely to get it is here, as I mentioned, across eastern Kansas, closer to downtown Kansas City. Same drill as the past several days. Once the sun sets, the storms will fade away, and we'll call it a partly cloudy night overnight and into our Monday morning. Let's check out your 9-day forecast and get to this anticipated cool down that a lot of us have been waiting for. 87 today, chance of afternoon thunderstorms, still hot and humid on Tuesday, 88. Then here comes that front I showed you across the Great Lakes on Wednesday, pushes temperatures down into the lower 80s for Thursday, brings in a storm chance, and then Friday, 84, cooler into Saturday, and Sunday even have some upper 70s on the map for the weekend, but it will be a little unsettled then as well.
Okay, appreciate the heads up. Thanks, Chad. A small bar hidden away in the heart of Shawnee is getting some big national attention. Next at noon, the unique details that make it among the nation's best. Today, the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs are making their first visit to the White House. They've got a full day of celebrating their big win ahead. KMBC 9's Dennis Evans is there as the Chiefs get ready to meet the Commander-in-Chief.
Well, the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs are in Washington, D.C. The team got in and they did a little bit of sightseeing. They've done some charity work around town today, and this afternoon they will meet President Joe Biden. It's the first time that the Chiefs have been to Washington, D.C. to meet the president, despite winning 2 titles before this. The last time, of course, in 2020 during the pandemic, they weren't able to go to the White House, so the team extremely excited to get in there today to meet the president, get a chance to shake hands with him, give him a Kansas City Chiefs jersey. You know, he's from Delaware, probably a Philadelphia Eagles fan, so I don't know how well that went over with him, but you know what? He's the president. He invited the Chiefs, and when you're the champions, you get to meet the president. We'll have full coverage of the whole meeting this afternoon. We'll be able to hopefully talk to a couple of the players and get their reaction from meeting the president here in Washington, D.C. In Washington, Dennis Evans, KMBC 9 News.
Of course, we'll look for Dennis's reports tonight on KMBC 9 News. Back here at home, getting national recognition. A Shawnee establishment could soon be the most outstanding bar in America. Drastic Measures is a finalist in the James Beard Foundation Awards. KMBC 9's Jackson Kurtz gives us an inside look to see what the hype is all about.
No reservations, no phone. Seats for only 45 people.
I want you to feel like you're having a drink in your friend's house or your friend's basement.
Eclectic but homey vibes at Drastic Measures, a bar tucked away in downtown Shawnee, brings in a crowd almost immediately once doors open.
What do we got for us?
Since June 2020, co-owner Jay Sanders says that the bar takes pride in being a local watering hole.
We don't want to be stuffy. We don't want to be snooty. We take the preparations of our cocktails very seriously, but not the service of them.
And it's the cocktails.
Like I'm going to do a Kill Bill also. And Bill, sounds good.
Served in darkness that win patrons over.
The Dead Idea is like one of our original flagship cocktails.
That is a sight to behold and taste.
It's kind of like the perfect encapsulation of this bar. It's a good mix of the flavors we love, but it's also very approachable and it's very pretty, which matters a lot to us. Our household fashion, the measured approach, that's probably like across the board most popular.
The cube, the dried apple,
hard to beat that.
Again, I'm not driving. Sanders says the James Beard nomination for the bar came as a surprise.
We were very humbled. I cried a little bit. And we were just looking for an opportunity to get a little more recognition to keep doing cool things in our community. The best part is when we're absolutely in the weeds and we're getting our butts kicked back here and you look around and you see all the people enjoying your space. I always try and stop everybody and be like, look at all these people out here enjoying your space.
From downtown Shawnee, Jackson Kurtz, KMBC 9 News.
Drastic Measures is going up against other bars in Hawaii, Las Vegas, Texas, and Washington State, all for that title. Yoli Tortilleria is also a James Beard Award finalist for Outstanding Bakery. All of the winners are going to be named later today, so make sure you tune in to KMBC 9 for those results. Betty Ray's is looking to spread the love just weeks after Shadow Milk owner Matt Shadow took over. So this week, the iconic ice cream shop is going to be hitting the streets. Betty Ray's Ice Cream Truck will be selling its signature ice cream with pop-ups all around the metro this week. This is the shop's way of just testing the response to Betty Ray's ice cream in new locations. You can find more details on Betty Ray's Instagram and Facebook pages. The Jackson County Legislature is responding to the recent outbreak of violent crimes. Next at noon, we'll take a look at the resolution on today's agenda and the work already happening in an effort to make our community safe. All day today, KMBC 9 Cares for Kids is working to support Lead to Read KC. We'll share the big challenges kids in the program have overcome just to learn to read.
Your station leading the way with coverage of what's happening right now and what's next. KMBC 9 News.
Thanks so much for staying with us at noon. I'm Jamie Weiss. Chad Crilly has your first alert forecast, and be on the lookout for rain. That's the story today.
Yeah, it's a story today. It's been the story for the past several days. Afternoon pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Today is going to be no different. We're starting out dry this afternoon, but it is a little hazy. The air quality is not the best for us, but a few little puffy cumulus clouds starting to grow just within the past couple of hours or so. We've seen some small development. Most of us are still sunny. 85 degrees in Kansas City, 86 in Lawrence, upper 80s in St. Joseph, mid 80s in Warrensburg with just a passing cloud moving by. Look at our clouds and radar, and you can see some of these puffy cumulus clouds on the Missouri side, closer to Belton, working their way westward. So over the next couple of hours, they will run into the humidity and the heat, and that will cause some shower development. It is 82 in Odessa, 87 warm degrees in Chillicothe, mid-80s in Cameron as you work your way south on Interstate 35. We talked about the mid-80s in the metro, 86 for us in Lawrence. And here's what you feel as you walk out, especially in eastern Kansas. Dew points are in the mid-60s, so that's sort of that air you can wear, somewhat oppressive feeling. With all those things being said, the heat, the humidity, those growing cumulus clouds, we have the opportunity for thunderstorms from about 2 p.m. through 7 p.m. Not everybody will see rain. If you do see rain, it could be locally heavy. And then overnight tonight, skies will clear out and temperatures will drop into the 60s. If you don't like the hot and humid weather that we've been having, pretty decent pattern change is on the way. We'll talk about when some 70s could be in the forecast coming up in just a bit.
Thanks, Chad. We are following some breaking news out of Iowa where police say 3 bodies have been recovered. This is at the site of that partially collapsed apartment building. No one else is believed to be inside or missing. The bodies of Brandon Colvin Sr., Ryan Hitchcock, and Daniel Perian have now been removed from the scene more than a week after part of that Davenport apartment building came down. Structural experts are now on scene trying to figure out how to tear down the rest of that building. Also breaking at noon, this is out of KCK. Police need to talk to anyone who has had contact with this man, Marvin Ray Floyd Jr. His common online screen names are NKM or $, produced by DJ Blacktop. The 32-year-old was arrested a month ago and charged with aggravated sexual battery. He's being held on bond right now, but if you have any information that could help police, please call the Special Investigations Unit at 913-573-6050. More breaking news here at home. Olathe police have now released the name of the man that officers shot and killed on Saturday. 2 Olathe officers shot 58-year-old David Russell Sweet after he threatened them with a knife. Officers pulled a car over for a traffic stop on North Water Street around 8 Saturday night, and authorities tell us Sweet had pulled up in a separate car and got out with that knife. The officers were not hurt, but they are now on administrative leave, which is standard procedure after a shooting like this. Yes. Kansas City, Missouri police are investigating after they say someone fired a pellet gun at people that were standing outside of a bar. Fountain House in Westport is very popular with the LGBTQ community. The general manager says people were just standing in line outside the bar Saturday night when someone drove by and shot the pellet gun out the window. Police say one person was hit. This happened at the start of Pride Month, and one local activist says the shooter's message was clear.
It's very clear that people in this state and country are upset about us celebrating who we are. And they've shown that they're not afraid to act on that fear.
Police say it's not clear just yet if this was a hate crime, but they are keeping in touch with the FBI because of that possibility. Now, Kansas City, Missouri is on pace for the deadliest year in recent history, but city leaders are stepping in just to try to keep that from happening. KMBC 9's Rob Hughes fills us in on what's going on in Jackson County later today.
Jackson County leaders will discuss adopting a resolution to make June Gun Violence Awareness Month. This all comes after last Friday was National Gun Violence Awareness Day, and Kansas City, Missouri Mayor Quinton Lucas signed a proclamation for Gun Violence Awareness Day. It also comes as Kansas City, Missouri has 77 homicides on the year. 8 of those happened just last week. Of those 77 homicides, 71 of them have been with a gun. And one program that is already in place in Jackson County is Jackson County Combat's Striving program. This stands for Striving Together to Reduce Violence in Neighborhoods initiative. It brings together police, school leaders, mental health professionals, social workers, and more to address violence in vulnerable neighborhoods. Resolution is being sponsored by County Legislator Manuel Abarca IV. Legislators are meeting at 3 o'clock this afternoon. In downtown Kansas City, Missouri, I'm Rob Hughes, KMBC 9 News.
Today, Overland Park leaders are going to work to address anti-Semitism. They'll be hearing a resolution calling for the adoption of the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism. This is a tool that they can use to address the problem. And the goal here is to have the city manager adopt or change city policies just to ensure that anti-discriminatory rules and resources include anti-Semitism. The city council will meet tonight at 7:30 at City Hall. And we have new video of a close call causing new tension between the U.S. and China. A Chinese warship cut off a U.S. destroyer, nearly hitting it in the Taiwan Strait. Just take a look at this video. Officials estimate the Chinese ship was just 150 yards from that U.S. destroyer. China's defense minister says the U.S. should, quote, mind its business, and says its presence in the Taiwan Strait is a provocation. The U.S. has its own warning.
Do the right things to rein in that kind of conduct, because I think accidents can happen that could cause things to spiral out of control.
Just last week, a Chinese fighter jet flew within 400 feet of an American spy plane. This was over the South China Sea. The Biden administration has sent a senior State Department official to Beijing to try to ease the tensions. Back here at home, the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Kansas City has officially kicked off its free summer education program called Atomic Blast. The program gives kids ages 5 through 12 a place to learn and have fun for 9 weeks of summer. It covers math, science, reading and writing, plus field trips and swimming. You can call your local Boys and Girls Club to see if there's still space for enrollment. Boys and Girls Club locations are also offering free meals and snacks to kids under 18 this summer. This is part of the USDA's Summer Food Service Program. Kids do not need to be a part of that club in order to get a meal. Learning to read can be difficult, but it's also an important skill we all need. As part of KMBC 9 Cares for Kids, Peyton Headley is taking a look at how you can help set kids up for success with just 1 hour a week.
You might take it for granted that you can write an email at work or read something online, but it's a skill you have to develop at a young age.
We're not wired, our brains are not wired for reading. We're wired for spoken language.
Teachers at Kansas City Public Schools George Melcher Elementary say their students face some big challenges.
Stress, trauma, poverty, the effects of that all changes the wiring that's required to teach those pathways. For our community and for the students that we serve, there's a lot of that in their experience.
I like this book.
Thank you. That's where programs like Lead to Read come in.
Color in each 3 sides to find the shape.
Lead to Read says students who spent just an hour reading one-on-one with a volunteer go to school more, start to enjoy reading, and build relationships.
Thanks, because it felt like that you helped me read for the past years, and I just want to say thank you.
Lead to Read helped light a fire in our building. light a fire under me as a reading teacher.
All these animals are reptiles.
Lead to Read has placed more than 1,100 students with a reading mentor. They need more and say you can make a difference. Peyton Headley, KMBC 9 News.
KMBC 9 Cares for Kids is helping to build a community of readers, and we have a goal of sponsoring 1,000 kids this month with Lead to Read. All it takes is a $10 donation to sponsor a student or to buy them a new book. Volunteers are also needed, so you can help support by scanning this QR code on your screen right now. It'll get you started, or you can log on to kmbc.com/community for more. It's no secret that yoga has many benefits. People use it to de-stress, improve flexibility, and balance. Next at noon, we'll show you an added benefit of implementing a yoga routine, especially if you deal with chronic pain.
And those air conditionings running overtime again today with lots of heat and humidity in place. I am tracking a much-needed cool down. We'll show it to you on our 9-day forecast coming up.
Your station leading the way, keeping you safe by exposing scams, fraud, and recalls. KMBC 9 News.
Well, a pretty stagnant weather pattern that we're in, but some changes on the way. First of all, the heat and humidity continues today. A cold front is moving in on Wednesday. That'll cool us off nicely, and then a better chance of rain is going to start to roll in over the weekend, and by that I mean a little more widespread. Right now, as we approach 1 o'clock, it is 84 degrees in Lee Summit, 82 in Odessa, Warrensburg, one of our warmer spots, checking in the upper 80s, and you'll notice some of these cumulus clouds just within the past hour, 2 hours that are starting to grow. That could be a precursor of showers and thunderstorms. Coming up in just a minute, I'm going to show you the most likely times those thunderstorms will develop and if they could impact your evening commute.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks, Chad. If you deal with chronic pain, yoga could be a good way to cope. As KMBC 9's Donna Pittman found out in today's Consumer Report, deep breathing, meditation, and stretching has many potential health benefits.
Hi, Talia, welcome. Come on in.
Talia Castro Pozo turned to yoga after developing back pain.
After my pregnancy and, dancing professionally for so many years, I had a lot of back pain, and basically yoga really helped me, feel better.
Whether it's your hip, back, knee, or shoulder, yoga may help manage chronic pain.
It improves flexibility and helps build muscle and core strength, which can help alleviate discomfort.
Inhale, arch the back.
If you have chronic pain, Chaya, who is a certified yoga teacher, recommends finding the right type of yoga class for you.
Find a class that has the words beginner in the title, or slow, or gentle, restorative. If your issue is really intense, maybe you want to find a chair class. Inhale, lift your head, your shoulders.
Chaya says the Cobra pose can help relieve some stress from back pain.
This pose is very good for creating stability in the lower back and flexibility in the lower back. So it firms all the muscles in the back body.
Busy schedule? Try classes online. Just make sure you have a good yoga mat like the IUGA Pro non-slip yoga mat that has good CR ratings for cushioning and grip.
Yoga may also have mental health benefits. The deep breathing involved, for example, can help relieve stress.
After practicing yoga, I feel integrated, I feel happy, I feel flexible, I feel ready to take on the day.
Consumer Reports suggests getting your doctor's approval before starting a yoga program. Donna Pittman, KMBC 9 News.
That's irritating, but I can't hear it in the house. That's a good thing.
After a train derails in Oklahoma, neighbors are complaining about the nuisance it's causing for neighbors. Coming up, we hear some of those frustrations as cleanup gets underway. It's a lesson that's not typical of a classroom, but a group of students in Japan are relearning how to smile. Next at noon, the reason for the practice and the benefits of doing so. A train crash in India that killed more than 270 people and injured hundreds of others was caused by a change in the electronic signaling system. Investigators say it's the country's worst train crash in almost a century. It happened on Friday with a passenger train moving at 80 miles per hour and slamming into a parked freight train. Rescue efforts have ended, and many are angry with India's rail industry after claims of numerous safety issues over the years. A train derailment in Oklahoma is causing headaches for their residents. Thankfully, no one was hurt and no hazardous materials were spilled, but folks in one town still have to deal with the aftermath. Several cars jumped the track Sunday in Marlow, Oklahoma. This is about an hour outside Oklahoma City. The train was carrying dirt, flour, and feed, but this mess blocked people nearby from getting into their homes.
We tried to call 911 and they were like, oh, we've already gotten calls, and my mom was telling them, no, the axle's in my parents' front yard.
A lot louder than usual, so I looked out the kitchen window and it was kind of hopping and like the train was, the cars weren't steady. It's kind of like a boom, like loud thunder, but so much louder.
What happened here. It's expected to take 4 or 5 days to have everything cleared out. The U.S. will be investing millions of dollars to fix dangerous intersections where trains and cars meet, including right here in the metro. The Transportation Department is spending $570 million to replace, improve, or study grade crossings, and they want to help reduce congestion at intersections where trains could block traffic. Nearly $18 million of that fund will be used in Olathe. They plan to build a road overpass with a pedestrian sidewalk. This will be over BNSF Railway's rail line near 119th and Woodland Road. More than a dozen students in Tokyo, Japan are taking a class about how to do something that just seems easy, right? Smiling. Well, just a few months ago, Japan eased its COVID-19 restrictions and they lifted their masking guidelines in March. Many people have chosen to wear them longer, so this in turn has led to far less practice in facial expressions. The class teaches how to regain awareness about your facial expressions and then teaches others how to craft the perfect smile. Game 2 of the NBA Finals was last night, and the Miami Heat came roaring back. The Denver Nuggets looked like they were going to take that Game 2. They were leading the series after just 3 quarters, but then the Heat got hot in the 4th. They outscored the Nuggets by 11 in the quarter to win by 3 points, and this is the first time a visiting team has won in Denver since March. The playoff series will now head to Miami. Game 3 plays Wednesday night at 7:30 and airs right here on KMBC 9. KMBC 9 cares for kids, and Lead to Read KC is helping Kansas City build a brighter future, one child and one storybook at a time. Lead to Read has found that more than half of 3rd graders in Kansas City, Missouri are reading below the grade level or not at all. So the nonprofit is working to change that by helping children work on their reading skills while also developing socially and emotionally. Lead to Read also provides individualized tutoring to students in need and gives out books to make sure children always have something to read.
Many of the children we serve don't have books in the home. And so unfortunately, one of the keys to being a successful reader is having books in the home. And so we are always trying to give children books to take home with them. They have books at school, but they need books wherever they are, at home and in their cars and what have you.
It costs just $10 to provide a child with a brand new book through Lead to Read. $10 is also all it takes to sponsor a child. You can make an instant donation right now by scanning this QR code on your screen or by visiting kmbc.com/community. And Chad, as we take a live look outside when it comes to your first alert forecast, I mean, today would probably be a great day to read. Maybe inside, or could you still do outside and not get rained on?
I think you could get away with both.
Okay.
Maybe for the next couple of hours outside with some sunscreen, and then by this evening, inside as that rain may be falling across the metro. Live look at our City View camera does show some cumulus clouds that are trying to develop, so we'll keep an eye on those. Nothing falling underneath them at the moment. And temperatures are warm. It's 85 degrees in Kansas City. The dew point is at 65 degrees, so it's also humid. Our winds are out of the northeast currently at 7 miles per hour. A couple of features I want to show you on our clouds and radar. An area of high pressure across the Great Lakes. High pressure has a clockwise flow, so it's going to be sort of nudging storms from east to west today. Not a movement we typically see very often, though we did yesterday with the storms as well. And then a cold front that's going to move in about midweek or so. That frontal boundary will actually bring in some cooler, less humid air, and we'll show you that in just a moment. Closer look at our clouds and radar do show those cumulus clouds continuing to grow, especially along and just south of Interstate 70. A few returns popping up across central Kansas, where isolated thunderstorms are already ongoing, so sort of an idea of what may happen here later on. 87 in St. Joseph, same with Maryville. It is a hot afternoon. 83 in Liberty, some more mid-80s here on the Kansas side, 88 in Ottawa, and 86 for us in Garnett. So you're out and about this afternoon. There's going to be a 30% chance of thunderstorms through about 8 o'clock. And if you get under one of those thunderstorms, they could bring you some locally heavy rain, frequent lightning, and wind gusts up to about 40 miles per hour. Now, once the sun sets tonight, skies will clear out. and temperatures will fall eventually back into the 60s. Here's Future Scan. We'll watch it. Gives us an idea of what's going to happen. The highest concentration of thunderstorms today, most likely across eastern Kansas and into parts of the Kansas City metro, maybe more so KCK. But by 2:45, those thunderstorms have ignited. They continue for several hours. See how they're isolated but fairly compact? That's the trend. Then we say goodbye to the sunshine overnight tonight. We lose the clouds. It should become mostly clear with light winds ongoing. Now, let's talk about some of these changes. That's going to bring in the cooler air for us. Once we get past a very hot and humid today and Tuesday along with Wednesday evening, front comes through. Temperatures drop on Thursday to 83, 84 on Friday, upper 70s for the weekend, but we will be dodging more showers and thunderstorms.
Part of downtown Kansas City is being immortalized in the Parade of Hearts. The Public Art Project runs through July, and this entry is called The Heart of the City. It features the downtown skyline, the streetcar, and on the backside, the Scout statue's view from Penn Valley Park. The artist says the heart represents diversity and the wide range of perspectives that make our community great. You can find it at J. Wolf Honda on 103rd near Warrenall. Hey, Chad.
Hi, Jamie. Let's get you right into your 12-hour forecast. Some showers and thunderstorms developing this afternoon. They may impact your evening commute. That's something to think about if you're going to be driving. 9-day forecast looks like this. Some changes. We're cooling down after a cold front on Wednesday. 83 Thursday, 84 on Friday. Some 70s arriving for the weekend with another chance of showers and storms.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks, Chad. And thank you for spending your noon with us. Be sure to join us today for KMBC 9 News at 4. Hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.